So someone recently asked me to share my journey to medical school and beyond, and it's probably not that unique, but yours probably isn't either, and that's okay. Most pre-meds seem to think that they need to have some miraculous exposure to healthcare that led to them wanting to become a physician, but that largely isn't true. Most people have some level of, I'm good at science and I want to help people, but no one wants to say that. So here's my journey. I was always pretty good at math and science type of things. I couldn't read that well because I didn't read that much as a child. I spent a lot of my time playing Smash Brothers. When I got to college, I thought I would do biomedical engineering because I was good at some of those things, and I didn't have family members who were in medicine, so it seemed like a good way to get a good paying job at a thing that I was good at. Turns out, I don't really like higher level math that much, and I'm not that fascinated by engineering. Working in a lab was a thing that I thought you do if you want to get into a good PhD program or get into industry or either of those things. Turns out I didn't find that very fun either. However, when I was in college, my dad, which now looking back as an ER resident, he was like, I'm 60 years old, and every time I mow the lawn, I get this So a couple days later, he got a quintuple bypass. Soon afterwards, my mom had some similar discomfort, and that led to her getting a mitral valve repair. Seeing my parents interact with physicians seemed like a thing that interested me at the time. These are people that are very good at math or science and had people skills. And that was a component of my prior endeavors with engineering or working in a lab that I did not find as fulfilling. I felt like the working with colleagues was not as people forward and immediately helpful. And obviously in engineering, I thought about, do I want to go into prosthetics? Do I want to fit people with prosthetics? Or with lab work, did I want to go into clinical trials? Did I want to meet patients in clinical trials? Being a physician accomplished that selfish, albeit goal of I want to talk to people and immediately get that feedback of you're either better or worse, and then I move on to the next person. And as a resident now that has matured to, I really like the process of collecting stories. And it could be, I dislocated my hip and I have extended conversations with a patient on they're fearful of going back home. How are they going to walk their dogs? Who's going to take care of their kids? Who's going to drive them to school? I really like those logistical, very important to the patient conversations. Not necessarily life-threatening, but very impactful into their life. I like those just as much as peri-arrest, very high-stake procedures. I like the collection of stories and meaningful interactions and kind of guiding a patient through those things. And if I can't do the definitive thing, I like the process of getting that patient to where they need to go. If I'm honest, I haven't had a ton of challenges in my pre-med journey because I never had parents that expected any of this of me. I could have been an engineer. I could have been a school teacher. I could have dropped out of college and joined a band, and my parents would have been cool with it. So that lack of pressure externally was freeing in a sense that the only pressure I had was the stuff that I put on myself. I had a couple of C's in college in like gen bio and microbio and molecular bio. And I went to a pre-med advisor halfway through my junior year saying, hey, I'm pre-med now. I have a couple C's, but like I started shadowing and I'm super on fire about this. And they immediately said like, your grades are not fantastic. You probably don't have a shot. You should go into consulting or something else. But instead of giving up, I found a lot of encouragement through podcasts and other forms of media online, which ended up getting me to a special master's program in Manhattan. And that allowed me to bolster my academic credentials and able to getting into a medical school and ultimately a 3-year MD program that had a linkage to residency. So I like to say I spent 2 gap years getting a master's and I got 1 back because I did med school in 3 years instead of 4. And I didn't have a lot of crazy life experiences. I didn't go abroad because I couldn't afford it. I didn't have some miraculous experience in some third world country. I spent so much time early on thinking that I wasn't cut out to do it because I didn't have family members already in it. And although there were perhaps more challenges that I faced getting in, I really didn't have to do much more than get good grades, do okay in the MCAT. I didn't do fantastic in college, so I did the master's and just kind of buckle down and do it. So it's not a particularly exciting story. I had some clinical experiences as a scribe. I had some family members that were sick. I had some experience in research. But if there's anything I can impart on this video, is that there are so many things that I thought mattered that really don't. Major doesn't matter. Type of clinical experience largely doesn't matter. Research experience, is it social science? Is it basic lab? Doesn't matter. Is it clinical research? Doesn't matter. Just check your boxes in a way that you're intrinsically motivated to do, and that will shine through in your interview. And have as much fun in those things as possible, because this road is far too long to spend your entire life until at minimum you're 30 training on things that you do not like yourself. So if you hate chemistry and you love bio, or if you like physics but you hate outpatient medicine, but you love inpatient medicine, but you don't want to be at the bedside, but you want to be doing procedures, minimize the things that you don't like, maximize the things that you love, and you will find a medical career that works for you. That's why there are pathologists and there are pediatricians, why there are radiologists and there's PM&R. They're so diametrically different. All you have to do is find what you like and spend no time, if possible, doing the things you don't like. So kind of a rambly video, and I hope to whoever asked for it that it answered something.